The patients and staff might know something. I'll start my investigation with them.
Every street corner. A daily routine.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
What can you tell me about the strange man visiting one of the nurses during her shift?
Let me guess. You spoke with that old shrew, Harriet Jones.
Bah oui, hein.
Do not pay attention to her, Doctor. She's full of fanciful tales.
She could have been telling the truth about the mysterious man.
That old witch will end up in hell soon enough. Who cares if a nurse finds some happiness where she can?
No matter how you feel about her, Miss Jones deserves our help.
Who says I don't care for her? Hate is what keeps that old crone alive.
Pepper, I know you're very close to Milton Hooks.
Yes, Milton Hooks is my man. If you want to report me for that, just feel free, Doctor.
I have no intention of reporting you, Nurse Hawkins, but are you aware of the risks?
The rules say I won't be allowed to work as a nurse anymore. But here at the Pembroke, we break rules all the time.
Is he worth the risk?
Hey, I'm no perfect woman, and Milton is not the finest bloke, but we do our best to get by. That's all any of us can hope for nowadays.
Milton cheats patients out of their money at this hospital, Pippa. Are you his accomplice?
Yes, I am.
Is this your definition of being useful? By abusing the sick and poor?
No. It is my definition of getting out of this useless life once and for all.
Why do you do it?
Why not? Most of the sick who paid for a bed are already dead, or will be soon. Don't you see the futility of all this?
In your position, I would suggest a more elaborate defense. Cynicism will not save you.
This isn't cynicism, it's realism. You still need me, Dr. Reed, and you know it.
Whose idea was it?
What difference does it make? We did it together, and I'm guilty as charged.
Answer my question.
It was my idea first, even though Milton would say it was his, to protect me.
What can you tell me about the strange man visiting one of the nurses during her shift?
Let me guess. You spoke with that old shrew, Harriet Jones.
Ah, ça tourne en rond là-dessus.
Do not pay
D'accord.
attention to her, Doctor. She's full of fanciful tales.
D'accord. Voilà, on va tourner en rond là-dessus.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Alors, V. On va essayer de choper l'autre infirmière.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Juste polir.
Have you seen a strange man visiting any of the nurses here?
I've never heard of such a thing, Doctor.
Do you know if any of the hospital staff have criminal backgrounds?
The people who work here all come from very different backgrounds, Doctor. Just like the patients.
Ok.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
D'accord. Et Dorothy Crane. Non. Je retourne à l'hôpital. Dorothy Crane. Harriet. C'était elle qui me manquait en fait.
As for me,
Et où Dorothy Crane? Il y a un inconnu dehors. Elle est forcément dedans. Aude. Ok, ça c'est le côté où qui surveille Pipa. Pourquoi j'ai Pipa 2 fois là? Ah non, c'est parce que ça se superposait. Tellement. Non. Non. Ah, ça m'énerve de tourner en rond ça.
Beer of disgust on every street corner. The daily routine.
Ah. C'est pas Pipa que je veux. Bon, elle est où l'autre? Alors, Dorothy Crane. La map, je peux pas le voir, c'est ça. Ouais, ça ne donne rien. On clique droit. Détendre, tout simplement. J'entends des bruits de pas. Et à l'étage là, il n'y a pas été encore. D'accord. Il y a un étage, mais ça ne sert à rien. D'accord. Donc elle est forcément en bas. Alors, Pipa, c'est vraiment Pipa ou c'est... Non, non, c'est bien Pipa. Donc là, on a Thelma, Thomas, Sin, Harriet. Ok. Ici, si je sors, j'ai... Ah, je crois qu'il y avait un recoin. Il n'y a pas un recoin où elle se trouve du coup l'autre. C'est Lady. D'accord. Tipets. J'arrive pas à trouver Dorothy. Elle est où Dorothy? Alors, attends, on va enlever ça. On va essayer d'y aller comme ça. C'est Pipa, c'est ça? Tellement, c'est pas tellement ça.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr.
Non, c'est
Reed.
Hawkins. C'est Pipa.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
The pain. It's here again.
C'est Pipa. Non. Non. Et l'autre, où on sent... Ah, ça c'est interactif.
I'm sorry you ended up on my plane.
It's locked, all right.
I understand you must be very angry about this unfair situation. I managed to arrange to have you buried in the
It's
same
locked.
I hope that might help.
You have the right to disapprove of our methods, and you will kindly apologize when you're feeling better.
Bon, bah, je la trouve pas, Dorothy. Je vois pas où elle est, hein.
You always knew the words to calm the children, Ellen. As for me, what a blundering idiot.
Donc, faut que je retourne parler avec tout le monde, je pense. Ça va déverrouiller le truc.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
Have you heard talk of any blackmail here at the hospital?
No. Nothing.
You seem worried about the safety of your family. And it's obviously the reason why your wound troubles you so much.
I cannot give up on my children now. They both need me living.
What about their mother, if I may ask?
She died in 1915 during one of the first Zeppelin raids. We never found her body.
Son corps n'a jamais été trouvé. T'es sûr qu'elle est morte?
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
My sweet girl.
Elle est
Like a book.
peut-être pas morte.
This hospital
I'm
seems
all
to be
right.
falling apart.
Don't waste your time with me.
Good evening, Doctor. How is my son doing?
Have you heard rumors of blackmail going on in this hospital?
Dr. Reed, are you trying to take advantage of me?
Of course not, Mrs. Goswick. I'm just curious.
Well, go be curious somewhere else, please.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The
Ouais, ça,
ambulance
je l'ai déjà
driver was
vu.
quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son.
Oui, bah oui, mais bon.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll cover all the expenses. That's all that matters.
Are you really that rich? Most of the patients here are of a more humble origin, if I may say so.
Yes, thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
D'accord.
Do you require medical attention as well, Mrs. Goswick?
I have other concerns right now, Doctor. But I'm fine, thank you.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Alors, est-ce que l'autre il va mieux?
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
Have you heard rumors about blackmail in this hospital?
No?
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
D'accord.
Why did your mother have you hospitalized here? She seems convinced this is a bad hospital.
My mother just wants the best for me. She won't rest while I'm here. She'd go all the way to hell and back to help me.
Pembroke Hospital may look unorthodox, but rest assured you're in good hands here.
It's not
Ouais,
me you
t'es
have
t'es
to
en train de bonne
convince,
main.
Dr.
Ouais,
Reed.
ouais.
It's my mother.
Is your mother bothering you? As your doctor, I can ask her to leave you alone if you would prefer.
That's tempting, Doctor. But you have no idea what my mother is capable of. She would tie herself to my bed if you asked her to leave.
Allez, c'est une merde. Voilà, j'ai rien de déverrouillé. Ok,
I have to go now, sir.
d'accord.
But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
D'accord.
I will not let you down, my boy.
Donc lui, je l'ai vu. Alors, lui.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
Ouais, bah vas-y, toi.
Have you heard about any
J'ai des questions à te
blackmail
poser,
going on
quoi,
in this
merde.
hospital?
Blackmail?
Un chantage?
Nonsense.
C'est absurde. Là, j'ai tout fait. Là, j'ai tout fait. Ok.
Thank you for your time.
Merci pour
We'll
tout.
talk later.
Merci, merci. Honnêtement, tu m'avances vachement. Donc là, il n'y a plus rien. Ah, attends. Tout bip. Attends. Viens là, toi.
Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed. Can I be of any help?
Have you heard any talk of blackmail going on in the hospital?
If you're running some official inquiry, you had better question the patients. They know more than the staff, especially old Miss Jones.
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him, or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing
C'est
but
la même chose que ce qu'on a eu tout à l'heure.
This personal involvement could also appear to be a lack of impartiality. You must know that a good surgeon must remain neutral.
I agree. But that does not excuse Dr. Ackroyd's behavior, a man who did not even take time to converse with his patient.
Do you think keeping his distance was a mistake?
All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings with desires, hopes, and fears. Not some biological machine comprised of blood, bones, and flesh.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
Ok. Donc là, on est dehors. Donc, on va revenir vers devant. Là, on est dehors. Non.
I wasted too much energy for so little result.
On va y
Good
tomber.
evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
Have you heard of any blackmailing going on within these walls?
I have no time for mortal games. My secrets are beyond their comprehension, Dr. Reed.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Ok.
I wonder why the Goswicks came here in the first place.
Je l'avais pas vu celui-là. Éviter la maladie, cracher, tousser, éternuer sans faire attention propage la grippe. Les microbes sont expulsés par le nez et la gorge. Ne toussez pas en public. Lol. Bon, j'ai toujours pas trouvé l'infirmière. Hein. C'est barré ou quoi? Où elle est? Oula. Ça a fait un truc de chargement. Pourquoi? Oh oh. Il y a encore des bobs. Je crois que j'avais débarrassé tout le monde, tout le truc. Ça repop ou quoi? Peut-être que ça repop. Toujours des bestioles. Ah, je peux plus sortir par là en fait. Quand je sors, je suis obligée de sortir par ici. Ouais, ça me fait charger la nouvelle vision. Si je change de... sphère. D'accord. Il y avait du sang là. C'est chez vous. Voilà.
Good evening, Mr. Cox.
Dr. Reed. Still working at night, I see. I like that.
And why is that?
People who don't sleep at night always seem more alive to me. More interesting, one way or another.
Have you heard of any underhand dealings going on in the hospital?
Blackmail? That's not my style. Too risky. The black market, though. Now that's where the money is.
Ouais, c'est sûr.
Do you ever think about that poor fellow I saw you push in the water?
The wound he gave me will make sure I don't forget him. Still fucking hurts. Boss had cut me good.
That man was determined to murder you. You almost died.
What a surprise. The first time I met him, he nearly shit himself. Fucking coward. I guess revenge gives you balls.
What did he want? Revenge?
I recently had to kill his brother. Poor arsehole thought it would be easy to return the favour.
Only the strongest survive, then? Survival at all costs. Is that all you think about?
I'm the toughest bastard you'll ever meet, Dr. Reed. And I don't give a fuck what you think of me.
How is your hospitalization going, Mr. Cox?
This is a shitty place with shitty staff. But as long as I'm treated all right, I'll be fine.
What's wrong with the Pembroke staff?
That bastard you sent to bring me here, Milton. I thought he was going to break all my bones before I reached my bed.
I see. Any other smart comments?
The nurses aren't too ugly. Especially that foxy one, Nurse Crane. Pretty brunette, tough attitude, all like that.
What's wrong with the hospital?
Come on, Dr. Reed. The place is a dump. Smelly, sad, and dirty.
But you're alive thanks to the efforts and dedication of the staff here, aren't you?
What are you expecting, a medal?
Oui.
I thought that saving lives was just part of the job. Must be an unsatisfactory profession at this time, I'm sure.
How long do you think you can escape the law, Clay?
I know this city like the back of my hand, Doc. I know its streets, who to pay, who to avoid, and who to bully. I won't get caught.
We can't escape the consequences of our actions. The past catches up with us in the end.
I ain't afraid of death. I don't hide who I am. I live my life honestly, which is more than I could say for most folks.
And who are you, then?
I'm the leader of the Wet Boot Boys. One day, I'll leave this shitty place and punch in the face all who thought I would not come back.
On a fini là pour l'instant.
I'll leave you for now, Mr. Cox.
D'accord, d'accord, d'accord. C'est lui le patron.
Good evening, Dr. Tippett.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
Have you heard of any underhand dealings going on in this hospital?
I have no time for such triviality, my dear colleague. We're here to save lives.
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran. Maybe you should think about preserving your strength.
No, we must keep on healing all those poor souls. We are the last rampart before chaos. Once more, unto the breach.
Nurse Brannigan is worried about you, Doctor.
She should not have told you that. I will have a word with her.
You don't have to blame her for her honesty.
I'm not that kind of man, my dear Jonathan. Actually, Nurse Brannigan's opinion is the only one I may listen to. Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
Désolé, je vous ai cramé, madame.